Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we are at the Savoy Museum, one of the newest car museums here in Georgia, and I am here to check out the Pirelli exhibit celebrating 150 years of Pirelli. There are a number of cars that track the expansion of Pirelli from Italy to Germany to the rest of Europe to the US, so we're going to check that out. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been to the channel before, welcome back. Let's go look at some cars. Please like the video. Consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for your support. Alright, I think we're going to start off with this Rivian 2022 R1T. Average range about 314 miles, starts around 67 grand for this car. I like the accessory panel on the side, and of course you got the Pirelli tires, and these are Pirelli Scorpions. It's such a nice shade of green on this Rivian truck. Now obviously the cars are locked, you can't go inside and touch them and do anything, but you're free to look. And then over here we've got a Trans Am Camaro 2022 that's also on loan. It is one of the 3 or 4 race cars that are here today. So let's just look at the inside, and wow, there's a lot going on in here. There's a very small space for the driver, very big fuel cell that you can see through the back, and a roll cage. But this is an RS Camaro, and it's called a Trans Am Spec. The size of those tires, and it's the Pirelli P0 tires on it. Brembo brakes. But we are on the inside of the exhibit. We're looking at a black Lamborghini Aventador S LP 744, so it's 4-wheel drive, 740 horsepower to all wheels, 3.3 seconds to 60. I think these start somewhere around the $300,000 range. This one has this red and black theme going for it. So you got the red and black calipers. On the inside you got the red and black stitching. Not a lot of Alcantara, more leather than Alcantara. One comment I can make on the seats, when you look at the stitching on the seat, it looks very Audi. And this one is the Targa, so you can remove the top. They make 2 models, a Targa and a Roadster. Then you come around to the back, and you can see that large, lumpy V12 engine sitting back there. Alright, so this is the car that introduced the scissor door to the world for the Lamborghini brand. This is the LP400 with a 4-liter V12 hanging right there in the middle of the car. And these extended wheel arches were made to accommodate those Pirelli tires that were made specifically for this car. So if you look at this fiberglass right here, pretty awesome. You got the telephone style dial wheels in gold. Love that. So the black and gold plays really well. It is a manual shifter in this car, and you've got that huge wiper. One wiper wipes the whole window of this car, and this car introduced all those trapezoidal shapes that you see now on the Aventador, but this is where it started. Gosh, look at the size of those tires. It's almost as wide as I am, and I'm not a skinny person. Now, sitting in this car, I can't imagine how you see anything around you, because if you look at the rearview mirror here, it's pointed right at those big bulges on the side. And then the interior mounted mirror, if you can see it, it's all the way up there on the roof. And there isn't much of a window back here. There's like a little postcard slot, and all you see is wing coming back out this way. So when you're driving this car, I mean, you're probably driving this thing blind. You have no idea what's going on beside you and what's going on behind you. So this here, the Iso Grifo Series 1, is an Italian car with an American heart. This car has a 327 Chevy small block engine in it, and it was rumored that it probably is true that this car can hit 68 miles per hour in first gear. So the Chevy small block V8 in this is mated to a 4-speed transmission. So this is the car, the 1970 Maserati Ghibli Spyder, that put Maserati on the world map for design. It is absolutely beautiful. It reminds me, it looks very similar to the new Maserati MC20 Cielo, which is the convertible version of the MC20 supercar that Maserati just put out. Look at the inside of this thing. This is absolutely stunning. There is leather everywhere. Alright, so we're looking at this Lancia, 1962 Lancia Flaminia. It's named after a road in Italy, the Via Flaminia. And I believe it goes from Rome to some other city in Italy. This has a 2.5 liter inline 6. Came as a convertible 2x2, which this appears to be the 2x2. I don't see the back seat. And then there was a 4-door saloon version of this. Came right-hand drive, left-hand drive. Gives me strong Aston Martin vibes when I look at this car. And then we're looking at a 1947 Alfa Romeo 6C 2500 cab. This was one of the first cars that Alfa produced after the war ended. And gosh, isn't this thing amazing? So as you can see, it's in right-hand drive spec. Interior is probably maintained, a lot of leather. Look at these gauges, and those knobs. Fascinating. And this is where the soft top for the car would be, under this tonneau cover. Pretty big trunk though. Pretty huge tires. And of course, they're Pirelli tires. This car, top speed, I believe, was like 90. It made 90 horsepower. And top speed was around 96 miles per hour. Alright, and then we're looking at the 1967 Chevy Camaro RS, which is the appearance package. You can see the folding headlights, and I believe on the side you got that trim. This had the small block Chevy engine. I think it made about 295 horsepower. And this one here is in really nice shape. I like the color. This is a gold bronze type color. So this car runs on tires, Italian tires, Cinturado tires that were re-engineered specifically for this car. So if someone was to ask me which of these cars in this exhibit I would own for investment purposes, I would take the Countach. All of the others are nice. The Iso Grifo is definitely a nice car. Love the Rivian, but this Countach LP500 is just the car to have. It's impractical. It's probably uncomfortable to drive and live with on a day-to-day basis, but from an investment standpoint, you can't lose money on this car. They only made how many of these? Like 2,000 of these? And maybe a few of them have already been binned, and it just has a nice pedigree behind it. So this is the car that I would buy if I were investing. Definitely love the Iso Grifo. Chevy Camaro, I'm impartial to American muscle. This is very nice to see from a historical standpoint. I love the Lancia Flaminia, and definitely my favorite brand, the Maserati. Well, YouTube, thank you so much for checking out my content and for checking out my channel. Please like the video, consider subscribing to the channel so you can keep up with my content, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.